Just did. All right. Well, hello, everyone. I think we are live. Um, Having some problems today. And David just told me I should have started at 2, but if he had listened to me when I said just 2 seconds ago that I was struggling with OBS not starting and not working after doing a computer update, then he would know that I was struggling at 2:01 to still open OBS. And here he is. Well, here he will be. He finally just came down the stairs. So, having some technical difficulties today.
My phone is still updating.
But, yeah, we're lucky my computer is finished updating. So let's not focus on, on that. Oh, and I need to go into Do Not Disturb mode so that way. There we go. Okay. Now, David is going to join us with or without his phone. Hello to everyone. It is always an adventure when there are computer updates on a Thursday, and when David's like, "No, it'll be fine. Go ahead and do it." I should have known better.
What's shaking, bros and brosafinas? Welcome to the stream. Smash that like button. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Want to ding that bell so you get notifications.
I think I need to send David back upstairs to find the real David.
Big shout out to our #1 sponsor. What is it?
Kopika?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Anyway, my computer is updated. But yeah, look at this. It was like 20 minutes ago it started doing this.
Yes, but when you want every device in the house to update at the same time, I think it overloads the system.
We paid $1,300 a month for the top tier internet.
He's lying.
And I tip them like a couple $100 each month. Say, hey, give us a few extra
obviously your
kilobytes.
Tipping is not working. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here we go. I don't have any birthdays to announce. Oh, I know what we have to announce.
Yeah.
Let me get over before we do poll.
Yeah. Big day.
Here we go. So y'all know by now that we're hosting KopiCon at Georgetown University on September 23rd, 2023.
Dun, dun, dun.
But, oh my God, Bubba, that would be amazing. LangTime Studio. But we now finally have a schedule.
Woo!
And so all these are Eastern time. And all but one of these are going to be live in person. One presentation, Paul Frommer, will be from a distance.
Live distally. So, you know, the others will be proximal like this. That one will be distal like that.
There we have it. But yeah, all of us will be there together in Washington, D.C. And here you can see the really awesome schedule we're building, or have built rather. And all together, it will be close to 9 hours of presentations and everything. We do have a lunch break built in and some other breaks built in, but overall it's going to be a long day with a lot of presentations.
It's going to be a day. It's going to be an exciting day. And I would also like to point out that you all would have gotten to meet Paul Frommer in person had you voted for Los Angeles. As opposed to Washington, D.C.
And David apparently just went to a venue recently where he was like, this would be perfect for KopiCon. And could have been right here.
Oh, man, the screen was so big. That is my biggest complaint about a lot of these venues. It's like sometimes it's a nice big room, great acoustics, and then they put on like this, like, and here is your 40-inch screen. And it's like, come on. Oh, I've got stories. Anyway, like, that one was huge. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
And so that is that. We are very excited. Oh, Jonathan, yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
your name
because
came
of
up with the
the
art,
yeah
right?
the art.
Yeah. So we're very excited
Oh,
about.
we're gonna bring that right from upstairs.
Are we?
Yeah, we can put it up as like a backdrop somewhere, like behind the registration
Apparently,
table.
David is planning on bringing a lot more in our suitcases
Oh yeah.
when we're already packing
Oh
for
yeah.
like 2 weeks.
Oh
But
yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah.
okay. No, I had not planned on trying to figure out how to take that down, nor trying to figure out how to hang it up there, because if you recall, it's actually hammered into the wall.
Well, not hammered. It's just hanging on nails, right?
No, it's that special hang system, and so I don't know how we would hang it there. Um,
All
anyway,
right.
anyway, I could order an extra one that hasn't been hung.
Sure, that's a good idea. Oh, I want to point something out. So George Corley of Conlangery podcast is pointing out that Jesse and I were interviewed on the most recent Conlangery podcast, which was the first simultaneous podcast slash live, not a live stream, but a stream, right? So a video one, and so you can listen to it the usual way you listen to the Conlangery podcast, or you can go to YouTube and see it. And let me tell you, if you do, you're in for a treat, because I was looking really, really good that day. You're okay.
Anyhow. All right.
Oh my God.
Here we go. Oh, you know what? I do want to make sure this is
Live chat.
There we go. I forgot doing the pop out that I need to change it there, even though it doesn't update the link for our actual system. But anyway.
You bet I do. McCain, are you a new viewer? Have you heard of this McCain?
Oh, McCain is really famous, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that you have no idea who McCain is. Very embarrassed, in fact, because McCain hosts a very important stream on Twitch.
Oh, are you the one that streams the Doki Doki literary club show?
I'm just gonna shake my head at you.
Anybody
Anyway.
who gets that?
Anyway.
Woo! I don't know if I got the name right, but
I really have no idea what you're talking about. I just know I have loads of love for
Anyway.
Matei slash McCain, which is otherwise Matane.
That's your
Yes.
nickname. Okay. Oh, I do want to go over a couple of things here. So these are mostly broken into sets of 2 here. So we're starting off the day with Sally Caves and Carl Buck. There's going to be a break. Then it's going to be me and Sylvia. Then there's a break. It's going to be Paul Fromer and John Quijada, another break. And then, rather than a talk, it's going to be a music performance by Jillian and Andrew Aversa. Very excited for that. Followed by Jesse's presentation, then another break, and we're going to close things off with Biblaridian and Mark Okren. We really ask you to stay for Mark Okren's presentation. I know that everybody is there for Biblaridian, and there's going to be a mass exodus after he's done, but please, to spare Mark's feelings, we just ask you to stay for his presentation as well.
Roll my eyes and shake my head at you. But yeah, we had fun putting together the schedule to space it out and get everyone in there. And so there we have it. All right. You ready to talk about the poll? Did you do the poll results?
Oh, I know what the poll results are. Yeah. I mean, I don't know them by the numbers, but I know what they are.
Well, David apparently just looks at things and knows.
Yeah, I know.
Here we are. If you recall in our last episode, we actually came up with the poll during the episode because we essentially knew where we were going and what we wanted to do. And so we actually came up with examples during the episode to fit them all. And really, it was all about the verbal paradigm in terms of where we were going to put this little particle for the completive aspect. Specifically for transitive verbs, because we decided to do intransitive verbs differently, like a completely different paradigm.
That's right.
Which was exciting. But here we need to figure out, we needed rather to figure out how we were doing that. And Anime Fan streaming is going to be up in the air solely because we are still waiting for some technology checks.
Yeah.
And so we won't be able to answer that question until we have a better wrap on what those technology availabilities will be for streaming. Okay, so our options for the poll. We had some post-verbal. Oh, what?
Let's just go up and explain it really quick because I threw in.
And yes, David does avoid math at all costs.
Math and arithmetic. Is that how it's done? Arithmetic.
I don't think so.
Okay. So just a couple of notes. So these are just reminders. We had a completed particle that we did come up with, and it's either goal or hul or shol, depending on what comes before it. We have our transitive preposition, which is wa or a w or a v, depending on what follows it. Our word order is SVO. Okay.
VSO.
VSO. It was SVO with it's VSO, or SVO is VSO with honorific transposition because verbs are royal.
All verbs.
Yeah. Okay. So first option was post-verbal placement in terms of where this goes. So kol means to catch. So in other words, like you know, like he eat, catch. Something means he's finished eating it. Okay. So one option was putting it directly after the verb. So huabram we, the dog chases the cat. Hua is chase. Bram is dog. We is the cat, and what is the accusative. Should we just change the R to a tap? We're never going to say it right.
I'm really not concerned about saying things right, since...
I suppose so. Okay, so Wabram weh, the dog chases the cat. And then, so if it was like, I gave you a bunch of options about how it would show up. I'm only going to do hua, just for placement. So hua hol, bram weh. Chase, catch, dog to the cat. All right. Next was placing it after the subject. So that's putting the verbs all in front. If we place it after the subject, it's more of a traditional serial verb construction. And so huabram weh is the dog chases the cat. And then huabram gol weh, the dog chased the cat. And here again, it's changing depending on what the subject is, whatever the last sound of the subject is. So it's an M, so it changes it to a G. So it's chase, dog, catch to the cat. This one, the accusative replacement is identical, but the idea is that the accusative was already a verb. The what comes from a verb, comes from chase, and so why don't we just drop it? And so instead of huabram gol weh, it chase, dog, catch to the cat, it would be huabram gol eh, chase, dog, catch, cat. So those were our options, and we had some choices available to us. Bubba says A was the best choice. It has that, it shares the distinction of being not only the best choice, but the least preferred choice. It was in dead last. A was never a contender. This was a race between B and C. Basically, whether to retain the accusative marking or eschew it. All right? Mm-hmm. And it was a close vote, but decisive. Ultimately, our patrons decided on B. They wanted to keep the accusative marking. And so, there you have it. And you can kind of see, I honestly, both made sense. I didn't hate either choice. I think I had a slight preference for C, but B is our winner, and so B is what we shall do from now on.
All right. And I think
hooray,
that will make a lot of people happy. So, woo! Okay,
so then I will jump down to the spot where our verb, where we were doing that description.
I'm actually right there.
And I'm gonna just join you. There's Jesse.
There I am. Okay. Okay, so side note, we will be interrupted in a few minutes. Um, but
We will.
yes, I just wanted to give you a heads up, or I may go out there. Either way, there may be a slight interruption. So you keep talking because I'm trying to deal with the slight interruption we're going to get. You're going to be typing.
Goodness.
You're not going to be typing. David's going to be typing.
I'm sorry. There's just. I won't say what it is, but essentially there was a DocuSign I completed. It required a date, and apparently the way the date was done, the date was illegible, so they're having me redo it because it got screwed up. So
okay.
That is really humorous to me. Very, very funny. All right, adopt and sign, and no thanks.
Okay, so what, I missed the DocuSign because I was trying. This is when things happen live, life doesn't stop. And so this is us dealing with two very different aspects of life while streaming.
There it is.
I was not prepared for David to be doing something while I was trying to take care of something very different.
Yeah, just a flurry of texts going on. Also, I'm going to say on the stream, just so that I remember and there's a record of it, I owe my little sister some money. I need to remember to pay it. Anyway, okay, so...
and if you do owe your little sister money, said sister will be here shortly, and I do have cash in my purse if you need.
Oh.
Depending on how much money you owe, because, I mean, if it's too much, then... So if you want to, like, write an amount down on a piece of paper and slide it across the desk, I can figure out if I can get her.
Wait, why are you giving me this one and not that one?
Because this one is my note.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
This should be good enough. This should be good.
Oh, then yeah, I can meet that.
All right.
You'll owe me that now, but at least, you know, it's easier to pay me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm just reading to try to catch up here.
These were our options.
3 options?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the middle one won, so we just need to, like,
boop,
delete the others.
Boop.
And then...
Okay, and then we already wrote that. We don't need...
Yeah, we already wrote the intransitive section.
We don't need this.
Yeah, really the only reason to keep that is if we wanted to remember what it was from. And obviously also the David/Davinth.
For the Davinth time, no.
No, we're going to delete it. Okay.
Gone. Okay. Okay. All right. Now we can jump right into some langery. Let's see. How often verbs don't conjugate for anything, but they co-occur with particular elements to form differing tense, modality, and aspect combinations. They may occur in bunches, resulting in the... Okay, so we've got both of these, and they are... And this helps to distinguish transitive from intransitive. That's fine. And it's completive, and so the lack of these indicates incompleteness.
Do you want to scroll up to the top of the page? The header. We now have Davinth in the document forevermore.
Oh my goodness.
A Davinthian reference grammar.
And I went to all this trouble to put your name first, and now, of course, my well, everybody has a name and a power name. Now my power name is first.
Your paw prints are all over this language already, so. So we know.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bubba says don't make you dinner until you pay.
There we go. Can you imagine if we started really taking ourselves seriously and started referring to ourselves as the studio?
The studio.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The studio says.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, it would be length. There we go. Gotta love it. And Jonathan is loving all the insights into the the non-LangTime lives of as LangTimers of the
Mm-hmm.
studio.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
studio
right.
does exist outside of Thursday afternoons.
Oh man, we could start saying, yeah, welcome to the studio. I am the David. She is the Jesse. And then that's it.
That
The
felt,
rest of it is just advertisements.
that felt like a bass beat for like some techno kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how we make
That was
part
a
of our
dance.
money, by just including, you know, the latest trip hop beats from up and coming artists.
I know, right, Magpie?
They pay top dollar to get on the studio.
LangTime Studio. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So what are we? Sorry, I am now back and waiting for another update text.
So I feel like first question is this: when we're talking about combinations, obviously we created these completives with the understanding that they would co-occur with content verbs. Do we want to consider for a moment if they should co-occur with copuli?
Oh my.
And what they might mean.
Okay, wait though. I thought no. We ended up saying no on that. Okay.
I'm gonna throw out a vote and say I don't think so. You go ahead.
I was leaning against it as well, but I was trying to formulate an actual argument for leaning against it based on the semantics, and so I was getting there. Yeah. So I don't have a good reason. I just was leaning against it. I don't know.
Now let's leave it at that. I mean, one of like the semantically felicitous reasons to include something like this would be having what I call past habitual in High Valyrian, that is a used to.
Ooh, yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know if the combination of things that we have necessarily makes sense for that. And then which one? Because a copula is kind of intransitive, kind of transitive, in that it takes an object, but that object is not a patient or I don't know. It's an identity function, right? It's not the type of thing that's going to take accusative case if the language has that.
But, so it would have to pattern semantically. It seems that it would best be considered with the sleep particle if we did it for the intransitives.
Yes, however, yeah, no, actually, it doesn't make sense with catch.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna back up.
Oh, anybody want to see Meridian for a quick moment? Gotta push harder. All right, come on in. You can come say hi on the stream. I'm guessing you probably don't want to say hi on the stream. Come here. So people haven't seen you in a while. Say hi.
Hi.
How's my baby? Good. So, you going somewhere?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Aquarium.
Yeah?
Mhm.
What are you going to see at the aquarium?
Fish.
Yeah. Do you think there will be penguins at the aquarium at this time?
Maybe, but I know there's puffins.
Oh, yeah. Puffins are great. I love puffins. That's right. I'm wearing it again. Oh, that's right. I was going to wear it because I was going to show everybody that you got me this shirt for Father's Day. But I'll do that. I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, Meridian got me this shirt for Father's Day, and I'll show you what it is. Anyway, so you go have fun, and we will see you after. Oh, and I have a slight surprise for you for after dinner. All right, baby. I love you.
I have to run here.
All right, ready to run back?
I guess so.
By the way, that was for Taco Bell. Remember the other day?
Taco Bell. We took Meridian to get food.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what that's for. Oh, thank you.
And then also for miscellaneous other things I'm sure I owe you for.
Thank you.
All right.
You're probably going to use it up.
Excellent.
Bye. Have fun. All right. Bye.
Okay. And by the way, this is the shirt. I'm not sure where I need to stand in order to get it in view, but it says Father of Cats. And there they are.
Okay.
All right.
Woo. All the excitement.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's think about this.
Logan wants to know if they have an octopus.
Oh yeah, they've got lots of octopuses, including a very, very small one. Very small. Really, really, really good. Oh man, that aquarium.
I think they
Never
only
mind.
got the top half of your shirt. So if you could grow a few inches and
Oh, I was like hunching down here. Okay, let me stand up.
well, let me back up so you don't.
Okay. Oh, and so the bottom says of cats, or you kind of see it. Anyway,
Did you get it all on screen this
I
time?
think so.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Did we know that Logan was moving to Idaho?
No, but that
I
makes
don't-
sense.
Huh. Okay. Well, good luck on the move. And yes. Oh, and George is saying that Meridian was born around the same time as Meridian.
Yep.
Nice.
You mean had to, right, Anime Fan?
You missed Meridian. You missed the cat shirt. And I think that's probably what you missed. Okay.
All right, so let's, because we can work with the meanings of the original copuli. By the way, I keep looking at this, and I just think of somebody being really fancy with their drugs. Weed. All right.
That's what all the cool kids have.
Yep. Okay, so to give off a scent, so like the dog gives off a scent of mastiff to sleep. Does that make sense?
Can you say that again?
The dog gives off the scent of a mastiff to sleep. For the
No.
dog used to be a mastiff.
No. Now, locative, I could get that.
The dog stands in the forest to sleep.
Like he used to stand in the forest.
He used to be in the forest.
So, like, I could get it for the locatives. The equatives, not as much, which is,
I mean,
you know.
we can, when we eventually get to this type of negation, I can't remember if we did it.
Stay grammar, Bubba.
Yeah, later on. We can create something to the effect of no longer or not anymore or something like that, or no more.
Yeah, some sort of adverb marker. Or even like if you were to use any of these with something that meant yesterday or last year, it would be obvious that you meant like back then.
Yeah.
This was happening, and you don't necessarily need any sort of other aspect or particle marker. And so, like, I would be happy to say, yeah, for the copular ones, they just, if needed, pop in something more descriptive to say when this was the case.
Do you want to go ahead and throw that in for the... but then on the other hand, then it'll be like, well, how do you say dog used to chase birds? No, let's pass. Let's pass. Let's okay. All right, well, let's let's come up with what's next. So we can either create some more TMA, or something that we haven't gotten to is that we could potentially discuss now is passivization. What area do you feel like exploring?
I'm curious to know how we're thinking we're going to do passives.
All right.
And so I'm ready to do that. Or ready to discuss it. I don't. Was that up above or down?
Jonathan says, there are suddenly all sorts of dog noises happening in my neighborhood. McCain. They're developing the proto-lang.
Ooh. Yeah, we've got a lot more down there. So yeah, passive I think would be good.
Yeah.
To get an idea of how those are going to work.
We're going to do that before the copula, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to create a section called valency. To pacifize a transitive verb. And we'll start there. So let's start with our old standby, the dog chases the bird. It's actually kind of a nice one because this stays as 2 words, so we don't have to...
Right.
Yeah. Okay. The dog chases the bird. The bird is chased by the dog.
We did somewhere up here, just a second. We had decided on, where are our participles?
Remember, we decided to scope that.
Okay, so the reason I was thinking participles is like, because like, and I don't think this is gonna work. Like my first thought was, could we do something to play with like the chased bird? You know, like something along those lines, but it doesn't really fit, and I don't know what to do with the verb, so like that is no good. But I did just want to remind myself what we had decided on participles. Okay, so that though does not help. That brainwave needs to
I've got to
be pushed out to sea.
Yeah, and incidentally, like if we get to more complex relative clauses, and you actually could do a relative clause where it was truly passive as opposed to active, I think it's totally fine that happens and co-occurs with our simpler participle construction where it could be either. I love that participle construction, by the way. Like, you talk about like, the dog of chasing, and that could mean either the dog that chases things or the dog that gets chased. I love it. I do have an idea I want to explore that utilizes something we are already using.
And Chris, that's I feel like that would end up meaning something different. The particular way that we have grammaticalized the sleep for the intransitive verb feels different than that reframing of it. Because like the goal is to say like it went to sleep, like that's the goal of it, to the point where it's like the dog barked to sleep. So the dog barked to the point where no more barking could happen because the dog like barked himself right to sleep. And so it doesn't really make sense to do the while sleeping because that kind of provides a temporal, like the dog only barks when sleeping. And that's like a different meaning and would require something else. Yeah, Mateus, participles are difficult just in general.
I had two things to say, one about that, one about the next one.
Okay.
Okay, Silvertail, don't lie. You're like, oh no, I missed the start of the stream. You're just saying that because when you joined the stream, we were actually doing conlang stuff as opposed to just, yammering back and forth. You intentionally skipped the beginning of the stream to try to skip to the conlang stuff, then showed up like, oh no, they actually started. So, gotcha. Anyway, but we're actually on task this time. So for the other one, so I'm, little by little, I am filling out the Gram Bank spreadsheet that Jesse created for High Valyrian. And one of the features shows an example from a language, and I can't remember which language, but it has the most ingenious thing. It has a prefix that I think was actually yo, that means, that says temporary or something, right? All adjectives are stative in this language. So if you say like, the man verb is tall, and then tall is just a verb. You use that yo prefix to turn every single stative verb into an attributive adjective, meaning, the man, the at the moment tall man, so you could say the tall man, something like that. You can do that same thing with any verb to create a participle. I thought that was a really ingenious thing. It might look a little redundant to like English speakers, since every single attributive adjective is always going to begin with yo, but maybe they use them less, to be honest, because of course most of the time they're just verbs. Anyway, so that's one thought. Basically, something that gives you that kind of like adjective-y, stative-y feel is a way that you can derive participles.
And Silvertail is actually catching up on the stream, so.
Right on.
You were wrong. Anyway. Right, Chris, yeah, like the goal was to figure out how to say like, the dog was tall. Not anymore. Shrank a few inches. Something like that. But right now what we're saying is we actually are not going to do anything with those. And instead we're just going to let the copular verbs be completely different from intransitive and transitive verbs in that way. And we're just going to use like temporal markers, like a phrase, or like, adding in yesterday or last year will force the interpretation that, the dog was a mastiff last year and somehow changed breeds between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very magical set of dogs that we have.
And then this...
Hey, Karis.
There we go. Now it's correct. Okay.
Well, what'd you change?
I had to do it's hard to see because it's
the little dot
as a misspelling. That's true actually, Logan. And of course it's also true with things like Latin. There's just more variety. Anything where it's like it always ends with the same thing. Nouns always end with the same thing. It's like even having 2 or 3 of them lends a little bit of variety. When it's the one thing, that's where it becomes maybe a little monotonous. I guess we could turn off spell check, but anyway, the H had to change to an H with a dot underneath it because of the "w" in front of it.
We could. The only problem then is we don't find
where
we don't see the English mistakes.
Yeah.
Although on my computer, on my other computer, I have turned off spell check because of this problem.
Well, I've got spell check on mine still, so it'll just be on me to catch it. Yeah. So, I wanted to throw this out there. Now, we are reusing, and excuse me, now that's correct. We are reusing morphology we just used to create completives. except that it's being used as a matrix verb. And so here was the theory. You use catch and say like the bird caught or catches, chasing. And so essentially the verb has been nominalized and is functioning as an actual nominal object. And so the verb catches, chasing, and then you throw of the dog, Avram, at the end if you want to. So basically the bird catches, the dog's chasing means the bird is chased by the dog.
I think that's brilliant.
You like it?
I love it. Because it's like, it's essentially turning it into like, it receives the other one. Because it's like you catch it. And it kind of, I think it works with, you know, all the verbs I'm thinking in my head. It works really well to be like, it could be like when you catch something, it could be purposeful. It could also be very like surprising. Like, oh, something's flying my way. Ah,
All right.
I caught it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Now here's the only thing that might throw a little monkey wrench in. So I'm going to go ahead and write it.
No monkey wrenches, sorry. We're out of those.
In other words, if we use a completive with the transitive, because coal is a transitive verb. I'm sorry, if we use a completive with the passive. So coal is a transitive verb, so that is how you would do that. And so it would be, you know, coal, subject, coal. The second one might change.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen to with this example.
But like with any of the other ones up above, it would, you know, be go, hol, or shol.
Yes.
And like on the one hand, it's like, ugh, the repetition. On the other hand, natural languages do that repetition all the time, and it just happens.
This is true. This is true.
And it's like to the point where like if your native language does something like this, where something is repeated, sometimes native speakers are totally unaware that they're actually the same word. Like because of the way that, you know, overall sentential intonation goes, because of the way that it gets used and it morphs in one situation but not another. Like there are times when you point something out like, oh, this gets used multiple ways like this in English, and people are like, what? And so to me, that's not problematic when you're trying to create a naturalistic language. Silvertail definitely didn't need Meridian's appearance to convince showing up to the stream. David. Like I feel like clang is closer than clong.
Yeah, but they will. I've seen it do it, and yeah, I'm right with you there, Karis. I don't like to do the age bias thing, but it really does have Gen Z vibes to it.
I just don't like the word clong.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. Aesthetically, it is not my preference, and so it will not be something that I attach to.
I was also somebody that didn't like the aesthetics of the word conlang, but you know, I had to acknowledge that it won out. Zing! Take that, Angmashwa. But Angmashwa.
Magpie, I love it. It's awful.
Ooh, Agmashwa. That's kind of an idea. Agmashwa could be like the nega form of Angmashwa. And then there could be Magma Schwa, the musical version of Angmashwa. Because of Magma, the band. The conlanging band.
Obviously. So, yeah.
Created language, Logan.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's interesting is I don't mind constructed language as a full term. I think my problem with conlang is something that other people have pointed out many times, and it's that the shortening of it, when you see con, you don't think constructed. You think con artist, which is, short for confidence. And so like that, to me, it plays on the ambiguity like too much, where it's like, it's a little too much like con meaning false or like trying to deceive.
Yeah. There's that French with its triple E's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I was having problems with? We were trying to figure out a sorting issue with Google Spreadsheet recently. And of course, there is resort and resort.
Yeah. And that's, I always put a hyphen when I mean resort.
Sure.
Because it's like, I need you to know this is not, you're not resorting to something. It's like resort the sheet, which is something I recently typed in directions, because we have found out that in Google Sheets, when you put a link to another cell in Google Sheets, and then you resort the sheet by another column, it messes up all of the internal links. And so it only works if you keep it, or you go back to the original order when you put the links in, which is silly. Yeah. And Google Sheets needs to fix it. And I looked up several things that were supposed to fix it, and not a single thing worked. And so that's something to be aware of if you use that feature in Google Sheets. And make sure that when you add any internal links, it's in the preferred sorting method that you're going to use. Otherwise, again, all your links are going to get messed up when you go back to a different sorting order.
Yeah. Or it's like you can just ignore it and just type it in, say, go to this box and...
Oh, yeah, Karis, that's another big one, because, like, when you send people documents and you need them to re-sign them, got to use the hyphen. Otherwise, it's like, what do you mean I got to resign? Ooh.
Okay, so then, we feeling good about this?
I like it.
All right.
I got a little itchy patch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dry skin. Okay.
I'm going to write it up.
And then are we going to celebrate after you write it up?
Sure. And yeah, I need to.
But Chris, if the con prefix were really used with lang in that way, it would be colang, because that N would change to an L, like collaborate.
Man, colang, by the way, is something I see used all the time by accident, especially by like interviewers. The other thing that I see all the time is, and it drives me nuts.
Can't wait to see this.
That the intentional capitalization of the first and fourth letters. Ugh.
Of course, David's preferred. Go ahead and keep typing. I'll make sure everyone knows what your preferred is. You just keep typing. Don't look at me.
Okay.
He likes to emphasize the cola in conlang. Exactly, because he loves cola that much. Those little bubbles, he just loves the way they fizz down his throat. And this is giving a lot of good opportunities for a new David face reaction on Discord. So many opportunities. I got it. I got him. He'll never see the word conlang the same again now that he knows cola is in it. He's done. Exactly. It's a delicious. Matei says you put the LA in conlang.
Ooh, that's right. Yes.
There. Ooh. Karis. Kopiklong. Yeah, that's a big.
The usual.
Ooh. The demoted agent can be reintroduced. Would you say via or via?
Via. Is there something unusual about that phrasing? I thought that was the usual way.
It was very quiet in here.
Oh.
I was trying to fill some space, but I had nothing else to say, so I thought I'd read what you were typing.
Okay.
There's nothing weird about it. So Magpie, we also need to like try to get that phrase picked up in totally wrong like intonation pattern and get it, you know, it's not just con, it's conlankan. Got to put the stress in the middle.
Okay. Good.
Okay, we've got examples below, including a reintroduction of agent.
Oh, you got him out.
I got 2 Kopiko out that David apparently didn't notice me reaching right over him.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to celebrate. Yee! Wait. Lincoln, you're absolutely right. That sounds like a place in rural Missouri. Totally.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Twin with Lincoln. Good old Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh no.
Yeah. All right.
This week, David got the Kopiko wrapper that didn't want to open. Last week, it was me.
Yeah.
I struggled with it, and about what's happening to you happened with me, where I had to like tear through it in several ways.
Kopiko, the official sponsor of Conlankan.
Or is it the official sponsor of Kopaikan? Good old Kopaikan. Kopaikan could also be a rural Missouri town, just saying.
Y'all from Conlankan or Kopaikan?
Gotta find that out. Yeah, actually, I actually live near Versailles, Missouri.
Oh, that's right.
And so like we oddly have some like French names showing up near where I grew up. I don't know why, because otherwise most of the area was settled by there's a heavy German influence in that particular region. And so where you see a lot of you know, other names showing up, it's much more Germanic than all that. Otherwise, it's really like heavily Anglo in origin. But we do have names like Versailles and La Plata.
Mm-hmm.
There's a La Plata, Missouri, up north. David's trying to look up information on Versailles. There's also Vichy is nearby Versailles.
I mean, there's information on it, but not why they called it that. There is some interesting stuff, though. Like, there was a post office that was in existence since 1835. Oh, wait a minute. I think it was named. I think the city was named after the post office, and the post office was just named Versailles for some reason.
Hey, but Jesse James stayed at the hotel in Versailles.
And P.T. Barnum. That's kind of interesting.
That is really kind of fascinating. The courthouse was designed in a French style. Also interesting.
Now I kind of want to stay at the Martin Hotel. This is near Columbia, isn't it?
It's in between Rolla and like we go. Wait, we go through Vichy. Versailles is up above it. And so, yeah, it's like the same distance, but up above. Well, you're zooming the wrong direction.
Well, I want to see where the Martin Hotel is.
I mean, it's so small that you kind of have to.
All right.
Because it's on. Oh, wait, too much.
See, it is near Columbia. See?
Well, near. I guess it depends on how you define near. Because to me, it's sort of like, because we go this way to Rolla, that way to Versailles. And so to me, it's like a Rolla drive, but in the other direction. A little bit longer because we got to go on the other side of.
They got a Kingdom City. And there's also a Mexico. How about that? By the way, in nearby Fulton, we're going to be giving a talk next year. No, September this year. Oh, wow, and there's a Warsaw. How about that? You got everything. And Bolivar, named after Simon Bolivar. Salem, Houston, good Lord, you've got it all. Nevada? This is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of place names like that.
Martin Van Buren. There's a Mark Twain National Forest. That's pretty good, but that makes sense because he was from there.
Although its placement doesn't make as much sense because you would think it'd be further north by where he was from.
Yeah. It looks like you don't have a national forest up there. So
you saw we had Milan, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Milan.
Which is actually Milan. Good
old Trenton, Missouri. Really? Milan?
Mm-hmm.
And a Memphis? You got a Memphis too?
Mm-hmm.
City named after James Monroe. You got a Macon?
No, yeah, Macon.
Savannah?
And don't forget Chillicothe. That's one of my favorite names.
Jeez.
But up here in this corner of the state, this tiny little northeastern corner, there's some good geode digging.
All right. Okay, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. All right. So, we've done that valency. Let's talk about other valency. Let's talk about causatives.
Is that going to go right underneath this?
Yes.
Excellent. And we already have a causative. You know that, right? We already discussed how we were going to do this.
We did?
It's bark. Bark that bird up the tree.
Oh, okay. Well, like we came up with the idea, but we didn't formalize it. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But we have the verb to bark, and we already had the idea to use bark as a causative to say, like, the dog barked the cat to chase the bird.
Okay.
Oh, and we do have a word for cat. Last week I lied by accident. I said we don't have a word for cat in the language, and I think it was Matisse who actually... No, wait, it wasn't Matisse.
It was me.
No. Somebody asked for the example sentence. Maybe it was Miles? It may have been Miles asked, like, how would you say the cat chased the bird or the cat chased the dog or something like that with the cat. And I had said, oh, well, it would follow this template, but we don't have a word for cat. After the stream, David was like, we do have a word for cat. Mm-hmm. And I think you actually entered it into the dictionary so we wouldn't forget.
Yeah, I did. So you can go and give it a look.
And so, down here, cat. And so we actually have that word. And so I apologize. Again, I think it was Miles who had asked how to say that. But yeah, is our word for cat. So sad that I had forgotten that. The dictionary, yes.
And then if there was a Wiktionary for the dog language, it would be called the Wagtionary.
I like it.
And then I'll fill in the rest of this explanation when we figure out exactly how it's going to work. Okay.
How many bookmarks do you think you can put in pages before the whole document just dies because there's too many bookmarks?
What?
Like, you know how you can make it jump between bookmarks?
Yeah.
How many do you think you could put in before the whole thing just like dies? Because it's like, I'm sorry, too many jumperoos.
I don't think. I think it is similar to the function of how many words can you put in a document. I don't think it's a big deal.
Interesting.
I mean, like
For Jwadi, I may put bookmarks on the English side to take you to the root entry.
yeah, I mean that's.
But that would be a lot.
That's
so
something
there'd
you
be
can.
like hundreds of bookmarks.
Oh yeah, I don't think that. It would. I think that would be great functionality for somebody else, and I don't think it's going to add. I don't think it's going to slow things down for the document. But good lord, can you imagine having to actually physically enter those things?
I mean, if you do it when you create it.
Like, I wouldn't even do that for every time where I put C entry because it would just be exhausting. I mean,
Anyway,
you could use that time better
growlphabet.
sleeping.
The growlphabet.
Ooh, the growlphabet. Oh, that's good. Mm.
But sometimes you want to get work done, but you don't have the energy or the brain power to do work. And that's something that's so low key that it's like, da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Look at me, I'm working.
Mm.
That's what that's good for. Okay. Cat chases the bird. Hua eh. Wah wah. I just like made my arm fall right off. The anime fan, more like the bark jog.
Dog Bugita.
So now is
Syllabarchy.
oh my gosh, the syllabarchy. Oh my gosh.
Logography.
I like it. Or if you prefer rough, logography. Okay, David, where are we gonna put hop, meaning to bark? Is that gonna be like the passivizer and become the matrix verb of the clause?
Yeah.
Oh, the Pabagita. Yep, Jad. Love it. Logography.
So, I'm thinking like 5 steps ahead here. We just need to write some stuff down first so we can actually talk about it. So, Ruf.
Yeah, join us regular people here, 5 steps behind you.
Okay, dog. We have a couple of options. And I'm going to ignore that for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are the options? It's I.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is probably going to be...
So that one, we're essentially turning it all nominal and saying the dog barked the chasing of the cat of the bird. The cat's chasing of the bird, really, I guess.
I think this one makes more sense.
The dog barked. The cat's chasing of the bird.
The dog barked at the cat. So this is it's
to the chasing of a bird.
Yeah. So
Okay, because that's the
here it's
the goal,
accusative.
kind of the allative.
Yeah, so here it's accusative. Here it's allative, even though it's the same preposition, I know, but...
And we've already said that bark could be used transitively to essentially mean like bark at. So we could just say like the dog barked at the cat, period.
I am fairly certain. I'm fairly certain I remember that, but I don't...
No, we did.
There it is, yes,
Because
to bark at. Yes.
I made that canon when
Yes.
you used it in an example.
Okay.
And so that makes sense that it could be used transitively here. And then here it's like just completing the thought. So it's not just the dog barked at the cat. It's like the dog barked at the cat to the point where, you know, it chased the bird.
And for these, it neatly avoids the issue of, well, what if you use, like theoretically with this one, you could use the completive over here, but that doesn't really make sense. You don't want to say the dog makes the cat have chased the bird.
Yeah.
But theoretically you could.
Whereas in the second one, because it's been nominalized, really what you're going to get is just the dog made the cat chase the bird, where it kind of takes the chasing out of any sort of aspect or tense marking.
Yeah, it's no longer a verb, it's a noun, and so that's why the argument's attached with the genitive.
I like the bottom one.
All right, let's could theoretically do both.
Expand that thought out loud. Just have two different possibilities.
It would be the same type of thing as how, let me think of the right verb in English. It would be the same, it would be a similar phenomenon, not the same, a similar to phenomenon to, it seems he ate the cupcake and he seems to have eaten the cupcake. So where essentially, you know, one, it's like the subject stays down here and you need an expletive. For the other one, the subject is raised all the way to the top. So that would be the same type of thing. Here, the whole argument structure stays down here. And this is not accusative. I think, no, this is accusative. And the whole phrase is the object. So the dog barks this into happening, I guess. Whereas with this one, it's like the cat is raised out of its claws, becomes the true object, and this is allative, and this is the...
I think you could also potentially liken that to, like when we change, we have a lot of different verbs that we can use synonyms for make. Make is, I want to say, the only one that can take this bare infinitive, like the dog makes the cat chase the bird. All the other ones require the full infinitive, like the dog forced the cat to chase the bird, or even allowed the cat to chase the bird, or like prompted the cat to chase the bird, or, you know, any sort of other word that goes in there, you suddenly have to use a slightly different construction. And so, yeah.
I think that, like, our choice is essentially between only doing this one and then doing this one as the default maybe and allowing this one. And either we should put that up to a vote, you can decide, or we'll get Bibleridian on the phone and then he can decide.
On the horn?
Yeah.
The Lang horn?
Mm-hmm. We can have the official Lang horn.
Obviously. I just sounded it.
That's the ringtone. So
I need to make that my ringtone for you. Screaming goat. Yeah, I like saying that one is the sort of norm and the other one can be used. Like, I don't even know that there'd be like a reason. Just like sometimes in language, you're like, well, why do you have two different strategies? And it's like, I don't know, you just can. But also, like, as I was thinking through those examples of like bare infinitive versus, the full infinitive, like when you want to do aspecty type things to the embedded structure, you can't really do that with to make. Like the dog made the cat chase the bird, but you can't really like the dog made the cat to have chased the bird. Like
Yeah.
it just sounds weird, but you could definitely say like the dog forced the cat to have chased the bird.
Yeah.
Weird, but it's grammatically sound. Like you can definitely do it. But you can't really do that with the make structure there. And so.
Yeah. All right. Then I think that's what we're going to do. And I can see one reason why this could exist. And that is for heavy shifts. In other words, if this argument is overlong, the subject of the embedded clause, you might do this just because, like, if you have this super long subject and then you get to this, you might actually forget what's going on. And so instead you pull the verb up front and then do your heavy subject over there. Yeah, okay, all right, I'm going to write this up.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, the usual method of causativization is to use ruf as the matrix verb, the causer as the subject of the matrix verb, and then the object of the matrix verb. It's repetition so that we don't get lost in the weeds here. And the object of ruf is the causee. That is the subject of the embedded. Embedded or subordinate?
I would say embedded because at this point
clause,
it's
right.
fully embedded.
Okay.
And in case anyone out there is wondering, some subordinate clauses can be embedded, but others aren't. And so to really specify which of those you mean, just saying embedded clause will automatically make it a subordinate because it's not the main or matrix clause. But it's clearer than just saying, dependent or subordinate clause.
It's the head of a nominal phrase whose possessor is the object of the embedded clause if present. That new nominal phrase is made the object of the preposition. This could have been written better. This could have been written more clearly. Hopefully, the examples below help to elucidate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate off this other one, and I'm going to add another thing about that. So, what's a transitive? I'm sorry, what's an intransitive verb?
Well, I mean, we have to sleep. We have, well, to howl could definitely be intransitive. We have 3 different versions of to lie, as in to lie down.
Yeah, let's do Maya.
And that one is to curl or happy sleep lie. Which, by the way, is going to be also taken for to sleep. Didn't we say that? Because you had said that the old to sleep is like gonna be archaic, really?
Yeah.
And so
Cat is sleeping. Makes the
little note so we wouldn't forget.
Okay, I'm going to reorder these. And also add little, oh,
I never understand why sometimes it decides we want everything.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Jake!
Oh boy.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, but glad you were able to like pop in for a hot second. And yes, George, this language does have a schwa. Is it our first one? I thought we had another one with a schwa in it. Like,
No.
Papa is for some reason, like in my head, has a schwa.
No, none of them actually surfaced with a schwa at the end.
Except for this one.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, you have to know about schwa in Ingala because it's really important.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually surface. Okay, and so now we're going to.
Yeah, Tincture, most of our languages, if not all of them, had proto-schwas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A second strategy occurs where.
Absolutely right, Karis. They did all get Davidified.
Mm-hmm. Remains in C2.
A process of Davidification. Except in this language. It was Jessified.
The entire bit of clause serves as the direct object of Wolf. And both the embedded subject and embedded object are treated as possessors of the embedded verb.
Tincture. That's great. Thank you. It was justified, I think. The Davidative causes something to be Davided. It's a whole lot of da-da-do's. Davidative. Proud of myself for being able to say it without tying up my tongue.
Okay. Okay.
I really like this. This is nice.
The structures that we came up with?
Yeah, like the strategies and everything.
Let's actually do this.
And I'm guessing. I told Natalie to contact me if there was a problem getting in.
Yeah.
And since it's now well past the reservation time, I think they are happily exploring the aquarium right now.
That's good. Good.
The Jessifactive. I like it. And I also like that Jessifies could be read that way or Jessifies. It's like a Jessify is one, and if you have two, it's a, there are two Jessifies.
That actually sounds like some obscure book of the Bible.
Oh, Jessifies?
Look to Jessifies 5:13. And thou shalt take thy water and place it in thy cup, that thou mayest drink thereof at an appointed time.
I'm sorry, that's how you would write a book, not Jessify. Goodness. Jessifys would be much more straight to the point. Take out all that. Goodness gracious. Oh, bye, Silvertail. Good luck on that. Tincture. Nice. Tincture changed the spelling to make it look more biblical.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so I I'm very happy with that. And now I'm curious to know where you want to go now, because I chose this direction. You get to choose the next direction.
Mm.
Also, as a total side note, I'm assuming that means Silvertail is home, since it would be odd to still be in India and need to go get a car from being checked up, which I assume is back home. But if you are back home, Silvertail, I really, really hope that you are not melting in the current Texan heat wave. Because, goodness. True, although it depends on which version of Jessophies you read, because the may also be capitalized as part of the title, the dog. Kind of like the Ohio State University. You just, sometimes have the capitalized. It just depends. Yes, it's short for Josephine. That's right.
All right. So it's 3:25. We can move on. We definitely have time to move on to something else. We do need to start thinking about what we might do in a poll.
I mean, we have directions to go.
Everything is working so clearly at the moment.
I know, it's like we kind of want to, not kind of want to, we definitely want to choose something, a nice good direction to go. We haven't tackled coordination at all.
No.
And we do have this adverb section is totally blank.
Yeah.
And then, relative clauses, questions.
Well, let's add some things right here. I'm going to add them in purple. So we have future, and then like continuative, stative. We have like hypothetical, comparative, but also like permissive.
Totally thought you said comparative when you said imperative, and I was like, didn't I already do that?
Sure did. All right, and then the habitual. So these are some things that we can kind of look at here, and then yes, we have adverbs in the comparative right there.
Coordination is what he means.
The coordination. It's kind of weird. I almost feel like tackling adverbs and like right now, and also making it the poll.
So you want to start talking adverbs, but also make that the subject of the poll? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's like I'm being pulled into opposite directions. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a serial construction of like, let's tackle it now and leave in a place where it's the poll. Now I see what you're saying is really... Well, what I would love to do then is let's start talking about adverbs, because if we do make it the poll, we can then work on something else at the end of the stream, having the poll already decided.
Okay.
But like we do need to...
Because I think I have an idea for adverbs, and I think it's very solid. I think it's very simple, and I think it's a slam dunk. So maybe we should
just do it.
Maybe we should do that, and then think harder about what the poll might be.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to adverbs and see. And, maybe that will actually spark something that gives us ideas for where we want to go next.
I think the thing that I said led to the opposite action.
I thought you wanted to do adverbs because you have a slam dunk idea.
Yeah, so I was saying let's save that till later and focus on the poll.
Yeah, that did not come out clearly.
But I thought that was what I said. Okay. We could also tackle possession, not in the genitival sense, but in the
verb sense.
Yeah, in the verb sense.
Like, are we going to have a to have verb?
Yeah, so there's that, and then there's a couple of different options, and one of them might tie into coordination.
Okay. It is important to always add verbs. Unless you're working on Kalen, a Kalen-like language. Then it's very important to avoid those verbs. Figure out how to say things without the verbs.
Okay. Noun possession. How have you? Okay, so it feels like it should be right here where we talk about this. There is no distinction between alienable or inalienable possession, as the wee little preposition is so and very wee indeed. Okay, so this is where I think that we should discuss it. And what is the name for this? Is it like anybody know? Like often you see habeo possession, possession. I think it's.
Isn't it H possession? I think
it is. I wonder if there's some.
Tincture says H possession and B possession. Did I put
B possession? I never saw that.
But did you see what I did after so and very wee? Thought you would like that.
Make that D a the. So it's like hued.
Oh, but like actually do it like that.
Intued.
There we go. Okay. Oh, Tincture says H possession, the possessor is the subject. B possession, the possessed is the subject.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow, look at this. Georgian has different possessive verbs depending on whether the object is animate or inanimate. So, computeri makvs, I have a computer, but zachli pubs, I have a dog. So, one of them, the verb is ak, the other one, the verb is ka, and then the rest of that is just agreement. I remember that from my little Georgian thing that I did in morphology, graduate morphology. Okay. Yeah, these sections really do need expanding. Next time they do one of those Wikipedia write-ins for linguistics, they should go to the possession article in linguistics. There's more stuff that needs to be done there. Okay, so for H possession, Hauroff has the following constructions. As the following construction, and now I'm going to put this in purple. Here are options. So, option one, Hauroff has a verb like to have. And it probably is not going to make any kind of animacy distinction because we don't really do that anywhere else in the language, right?
No, I don't believe so. And like our genitive one definitely does not. And so, and I don't think, because we had already tackled, wait, have we tackled pronouns?
Yes.
And we just don't even do third, which is only, there is an animacy distinction in the demonstratives.
Oh, yeah?
That's the only place. Because the proximal animate, inanimate, and distal animate, inanimate. It's whether something can be heard or not. Like can make noise, rather. Something can make noise.
Okay, that's an option. Another option, Hauroff uses the locative copula.
Well, George, one thing that's interesting is that H possession, I've always heard David call it the habeo, and so in my head, the habeo.
Oh yeah.
Habeo. really usually not said with an H sound in it. But like, so in my head, that's actually like not an English based.
Yeah, it's definitely IE. It's Indo-European, but it's not based on have. It's habeo. Um, that's what I've always seen. So have uses the locative copula, where the subject is the possessee. And that's probably going to occur with the essive, right? So with the O.
Does the locative copula require?
No, but
With the O.
yeah,
And so that's like the standard.
yeah.
So it would be like like the dog has a broom. The broom is
At or upon the dog.
Because it's a locative. So it's like by the dog, near the dog,
Yeah.
at the dog.
Uses the acquisitive copula, where the subject is the possessee. Okay. So actually, no, I have a question here because I was just going to write this one up. But whatever we use for with, whatever that ends up being, if you wanted to say like, say the dog is with his dad, all right? Do you think the copula there should be equitive or locative?
Interesting. We haven't really talked about with at all.
No, but I thought it would be a nice idea. Hold on, let me see what the sources of our copula are. I think the copula is.
Well, to stand is the positive locative.
No, I feel like it should be locative too. It's the comitative preposition, and that's TBD.
I believe it is, yes.
Yep. Okay. I think that's pretty good, unless you can think of another one, or anybody else can think of another one.
So is this... Okay, so I'm going to say that this can't all fall under, if there really are two different forms of possession, it's not all H possession. Because 3 and 4, the subject is actually the possessee, which is technically B possession, I guess.
Well, it's the English equivalent. Like, we'll rewrite this section so that it makes sense once we're done.
So it's not that we're going to potentially have a secondary kind of verbal possession. It's like we're deciding if we're going to have this strategy or another strategy.
Yeah, and I do have an idea. Let's do a fifth one. Here we hear this. I have another idea. How off uses the verb I for be possession, where the subject is the possessee, excuse me, and the object is the possessor. In other words, so this is the one where we don't actually use it for anything. It's our preposition, but we actually use it as a verb.
I mean, it comes from a verb, but we're going to say it no longer gets used as a verb. Well, you said we don't use it for anything. it does come from a verb. So are you saying that that should be marked archaic and doesn't actually get used anymore?
Well,
unless we revive it for this?
Yes.
Okay.
And wait a minute, what are you saying that habeo and have aren't cognates? Yes, they are. What are they talking about? That's not true, is it, Jesse?
I actually don't know. I'm not. Oh, it's related to heave. Now you gotta look up habeo. Ooh, from to grab to take.
Well, the other one is from to seize, allegedly.
Oh my gosh, the only difference is the voicing that I saw rather quickly. One is g and one is h or k.
They're saying its etymology is unknown, or perhaps onomatopoeic. Compare the very similar gab to seize as so-called chiming roots.
So they actually could be from the same source.
Yep. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It is unbelieved by me.
Okay. And cognate. I like that better than false cognate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cognate. That's amazing. Thank you. I wish I were still. I wish I could use that in front of a bunch of linguistic students, and then like one would laugh with me, and it's like that person who is either just as dorky as I am with, fun wordplay, or is trying to get a good grade. And either way, I don't care. I get a laugh. The number of times I've had to laugh at my own jokes in front of class because like they just did not. I'm like, oh, I'll laugh at my own jokes. Okay. All
right.
Well, now I just want to do. Now I just want to do a deep dive. Jonathan says cook and cookie are unrelated. I could believe it, but cookie is related to quiche and cook is related to pumpkin. And so now I just want to stop. Never, Mateus, never. Okay. So I will get sucked into an etymology deep dive.
I'm just gonna throw this out since we're all just having fun here, I guess. You know that the present tense form of read and the past tense form of read are actually suppletive. They come from entirely different roots, and the past tense read is actually related to the same word as corrupt. There you go. Just throwing that out there. Spread it like the eating 8 spiders in your lifetime thing.
See, but that's also exactly why lead is only spelled L-E-D when it's the verb, and red should be R-E-D if it were actually the past tense of the same root. But instead, it's a completely different root. There we go. We go. I'm supporting it.
I've got something for you, and I want to throw this out there. This is great. So this is kind of break your brain thing that's kind of like a near merger, which is that the past tense of to lead is led, L-E-D, right? Past tense of read is read, and they're spelled the same. So the past tense is R-E-A-D. The past tense of lead is not led, L-E-A-D. However, it has absolutely proliferated the internet. I would say you are 90% more likely to see led in the past tense spelled L-E-A-D now. So I thought, this was a few years ago, several years ago. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask Twitter about this. It's like, do you use in the past tense L-E-D or L-E-A-D? And overwhelmingly, everybody was like, oh, I only use L-E-A-D or L-E-D for the past tense. False. In other words, I think that everybody believes they use the correct past tense for lead, and they don't.
Oh, I use it.
Oh, I know you do. And I know I do. I know what the real etymology of Led Zeppelin is, the origin of the name of the band.
The Zeppelin that was led.
That's right. Mike, it's being.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you that everybody believes they don't do it, but they do.
Mm. Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is funny to see what is related and is not. And just in case we were too convincing, David was joking about the read and corrupt thing.
Yeah, that was
a joke.
That was a joke.
And
what's not a joke is that weekend in English and le weekend in French are actually have no connection whatsoever.
You almost hit me in the face. He was so excited.
At least I didn't touch your glasses.
Oh, it would have been off. I would have scooted your chair right out of the room.
All right.
Isn't leapt spelled Leapt? If
Yep.
you do have it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay. I was like, wait, I gotta skip. Yeah, because kept is Kept, just like that. But leapt keeps the A, as does dreamt, if you do that. Of course, some people just do dreamed. But if you do dreamt, Dreamt. Yeah, we have some fun things that happen. Loop. Oh, the good old lopin'. Oh my God, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have these 5 options, but
yep.
Do we want to keep all 5 or do we want to narrow it down?
Not necessarily, but we can do that privately so that it will be a surprise.
Be a surprise.
A huge surprise. All right, jump down to the adverbs section.
For the slam dunk idea.
Yep.
I gotta remember to ask you something too after the stream. Okay. Lopan.
Oh my gosh, I like that, Jay. One of my teachers in Peru wouldn't let us use fin de semana in his class because he claimed nobody in Peru used it before the 70s.
Therefore, it should not be used.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine the number of words we wouldn't be able to use in our daily lives if it were like, if it didn't exist before the 70s, it doesn't exist now. And I'm not just talking about new meanings of old words. I mean like
internet.
New words, like anything to do with computers and technology and online sites. Like none of this would make any sense prior to the 70s. And so it'd be really interesting what could spark debate over how do we do things.
So it's like computers existed, but your mouse would be a thing that you use to control the computer.
Obviously. And, you know, and you don't even need that. You could also have the thing you slide your fingers on to control the screen instead because, you know, no trackpads. And so, yeah, it would be really interesting. Yeah, that good old electronic communication network.
Yeah. Okay. Both temporal and locational adverbs are rendered with prepositional phrases.
Done and done.
Yeah.
For manner
adverbs.
I'm excited to see.
Bear ye in mind that adjectives in Hauhof are nominal in nature. To say then that someone does something in the manner of a nominal thing, one says, one does it, goodness, like said nominal thing. So,
and obviously, George, prior to the 70s, there were only weekdays because all days are days of the week. Why would you have a weekend at all?
So now that's the answer. We just need to figure out like.
Okay. Didn't we do... I swear we had talked about this. So I thought, you know what, maybe we had just talked about, was this one of the options for the comparative?
Might have been.
And then we just didn't go with it?
Yeah.
Because like I swear we talked about it to be like, because I think when we were looking up comparatives, like was one of the options. But what we were finding was anytime you researched the origins of the comparative, they were really focusing on the than portion of the comparative and not the
Yeah.
like the er portion of the comparative. And so I think one of the options was like a verb meaning like similar, to be like, or to resemble. And so well, I don't think we ended up going that route though. So anyway, I think that's where my brain though was having a hang up. So it could just be a root, yeah. Like the origin is like to be similar, but we could also do something that grammaticalizes.
Well, I feel like what we're looking at is two prepositional phrases. So like, you know, in or by the guise of a blank. And so what we want is something that flows really quickly, knowing that the preposition that comes before the adjective slash noun is going to be or o, or h. Is that?
Can you actually just type up a structure that we're trying to fit?
Sure.
So, like, if we want to say the cat barks doggingly, no.
I don't know.
No, the cat.
What's an adjective that we have that makes sense to become a man or adverb?
Do we have any adjectives? So, like the big one. Okay, so
Do we actually have them though?
Like, yeah, because we did comparatives. So here we go. Big is oof.
That's kind of a.
And small is shall.
That's not a great one for a manner adverb. Let's come up with a word that means either quiet or loud. Those can be onomatopoeic.
Yeah. Okay. So we need quiet or loud.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is even funnier in the modern form. Jued.
Oh, it's. I mean, it's some good stuff.
Jued.
Okay, where was I that I just hit enter? I don't know. Something happened in the document. I'm sorry. I want to start with quiet.
Okay.
And here is one suggestion. I don't remember what sounds we have. Okay, okay. So here is one suggestion. I think we need, oops. Ah. There we go.
Go ahead and go to Lexergy. Let's see what copy it first. Oh, never mind.
I mean, I can type it pretty quickly. Check this out.
Pretty good.
Nothing happens to hoof.
Okay, that's good. This works. Okay, now I'm gonna, if you go back to the adverb section.
I will in one moment while as soon as I update. There we go. Got quiet.
Oh, hang on.
What's up?
I think I made a mistake. Can you go back to Lexergy?
Mm-hmm.
Type in MEA.
Just like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a...
So we have ea and ea. I guess we do. Interesting. So mea and jued. mistake. No mistake. All right.
Is it because it's the uvular, the lowering?
Yeah.
For hua.
The dog is sleeping. And now, let's go ahead and do quiet is what?
Hua.
There we go. The quiet dog is sleeping, and now the dog is sleeping quietly. So, Bram, X, Y, ah, and let's see what happens with.
And then does the Brahm huff
Yeah.
do anything? Trigger any mutations?
Wait. No, it doesn't. Wait. I don't remember. Did we decide that it was going to agree?
Just a second.
There we go.
Small forest is pelfelgyal, and small bird is huafxia. So it agrees. The modifying noun displays the same mutation. So it's the same because we had said that essentially what we were saying is that O would technically appear before ja, but then it would drop out.
Okay, yeah, so in this case, no.
Okay, so no, because there was no other. Okay.
Yeah, there's no mutation. Okay, so here, this triggers intervocalic mutation and palatalization because it's a over I, and so in this case it's ajaf. Ajaf. The O is only there. When does the O show up? Yeah, when does A surface as O? I can't remember.
I feel like we need.
Oh, it doesn't.
I was like, isn't that something else?
No, that's just the essive. I'm sorry. So it's O versus Om, A versus I, and then wa, va. Got it. So the laudative is the only one that has 3 forms. The rest have 2. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So we have the dog is sleeping essentially in the guise of, or in the face of, or with the face of, or with the expression of, something like that of a quiet one. And we know that this is going to be a or I, and so we want something that flows nicely and it's kind of short.
In the body of?
I think that works.
Kind of like
yeah. After all, that's it's a little bit screwy. That's where we got English ly from.
Oh, that's true. Also another one, if you don't want to use body, belly. Like that's as internal as you can get. Like it's in the belly of.
Do we have either of those words already?
I don't.
No for body. We have belly lie, but we don't have belly.
Right.
Okay. I like that. So it's going to be essive. It's going to be essive. So this one is going to be either O or Om.
Right.
If this Y were this,
VC,
it would be like, I don't know, Omaga or something like that. Omaka. If it were CVC, it could be, Obada, Obafa, something like that. I don't know. You want to just solicit either some CV forms, some VC forms we like, and some CVC forms.
Okay, so we need VC and CVC options.
Let's do 2 of each.
And then we'll put that to a vote, and that'll be the last thing we do today. Um, um,
All right, what shall the form of our what are we doing? Oh, shall the form of our
belly or body, whether you want it to mean body or belly.
No, I like your idea better. Whence our similitive.
Okay, I'm going to suggest you are as one of them. Omora.
Okay, let's, does anything
And
happen to that?
Abe as another one. Omeba.
Okay, yeah, nothing happens to those.
Because it's going between if it starts with a vowel, and then so I was thinking like umora, and then omeba, which sounds like amoeba almost.
I like that. Do we have the upside down R in our
Yes.
Conlang keyboard layout? How do we get it?
Do the Alt K and then Y, because the R's were taken up already.
Got it.
Good.
So we've got Pal and Muck and Quen. Throw them in Lexergy and see what they come out as.
It's just getting them. Muck and Quen. Oh, Quem. We don't have an N.
Yeah, we don't have an N. Okay.
Muck, Quem.
And Kal.
Oh, it's already up there.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. Silvertail says it's actually better in Texas now than it was in India. Woo! Oh yeah, AC. We'll save it.
And then what happens after an M with that? Do they both become G, Q, and K?
Q and K.
After a G, yeah, they both become G.
Okay.
So it would be Oguema and Ogala, and then nothing happens after. Yeah.
Ooh, I kind of like Ogala.
Yeah, Omaka. I kind of like that too.
So I like Kala and Muck. It's a good question. We should I should check all of these before we vote. Make sure, no, we don't have any other QA protoforms. Oh, yeah.
I like Quem.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, you like it better than... No, Quem is not found, so no, it's not already a word.
Yeah, I'm ready to throw this up. And then here, I'm actually going to write the phrase out. So this be Okay.
There we go. All right, so we'll get that vote going so we can get our word for belly.
Look at this on the screen. We're
Father LangTime Studio right there.
It's just like sitting there.
It really is. It's impressive. Kind of looks like it's part of the logo.
Yeah, it does. Or like some sort of technology has taken that and it's like, oh, we found words here. Let's put them.
Right. Kind of like in sportscasts where like they end up putting things on the field that don't belong there.
Oh yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
just like all visually done for the TV viewers.
Oh, you know, it was something that I found really disorienting. So now they actually project those advertisements on the field and things like that. They're in Australian rules football. I was watching it, and they did something that I found really disorienting. They knew what the main camera angle was going to be, and so they actually painted it on the field to make it look 3D from that camera angle.
Whoa.
And so it's not actually a projection, it's really there, but it looks like some advertisement is standing up to you.
Oof.
And then when they show it from different angles, it looks all weird.
No, thank you.
Wow.
No. Okay. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I
double-checking.
guess that's it.
Oh, what was the final count?
There it is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no coming back from that.
Yeah, call was tied for a little bit.
Damn. I was hoping for some Amora or Ogata, but all good, all good. Oh wait, we're a kid-friendly stream. Gosh, David, keep your mouth clean.
What? What did I do?
I may have said a little curse word.
My.
And so I was yelling at you.
That makes sense.
Because you're obviously the one. Now those are all okay. And so this stays. Claim.
Mea Bram Ogwemajaf. The dog is sleeping quietly.
It just feels heavy.
It does.
That's why I didn't like Quaim as much, but I really didn't think it was going to win.
You want to override it? This isn't a patron poll.
Like, could we, like, just shorten it as the grammaticalization? Like, say this is the full word for belly is Quaim. But, like, in this phrase, something happens, even if we just drop the co-articulation for Ogema.
And it becomes Ogwemajaf.
Like, it just is something shorter. Because let me join David here. So this is what we're looking at, where it's like to say something happens any manner, adverb way, quietly, loudly, whatever, joyfully, we would need Ogwema all together as a unit, and that just feels heavy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so what David suggested was perhaps getting rid of the G, like keeping Quaim meaning belly, so Quaim is the full form, but in this phrase it gets said so often that it just sort of reduces from Ogwema to Oema. And I like that idea.
Or we just override it.
Ogada.
Mea Bram Ogalajaf. Ogalajaf. Gotta get that little R in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Mea Bram Ogalajaf. Mea Bram Ogwemajaf. Mea Bram Ogwemajaf.
My God. Okay, I'm totally on board with the Oema, if for no other reason than when you say it quickly, it's like, Oema, Oema.
So we're not doing that one. You know what?
In the jungle.
This is your name comes first, and I know you like silly resemblances and you like W.
Oh, Jonathan was thinking of going one step further by just getting rid of the O.
No.
Just made Bromwema.
Nope.
The O, I think, needs to be there because this is actually a prepositional phrase, so it wouldn't disappear. George is also suggesting oge.
That's one way to do it, but I don't like it as much.
You didn't hear it. Like, the only reason it's silly is because I made it silly and you didn't hear it when you said Owema. You're never going to unhear it now, but you didn't hear it at first.
It is. It's all right. It's this language's Oza Yamoza.
Yeah, but we took out Oza Yamoza. And so are we going to avoid this?
Brought it back for the mice.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to leave it to you to decide which of these two. And what we'll do is make the losing word body, and the winning word will remain belly.
Oh my goodness.
And so we'll get both. Oh,
don't you worry.
woohoo!
Don't you worry.
David's about to toss his laptop. Silvertail likes wham.
Look, this is your baby. You are the W queen.
Yes, okay, so let's keep it. And then kal will be the word for body.
All right.
And now we have two words. Hooray! Okay, now I gotta actually copy an L. Oops, because that is one thing I did not add to the keyboard, and I really need to. Wait, and that should actually be. That comes out. Okay. Make sure that, yes, that stays there. Okay. George is saying, let's just go one step further and make wa go ahead and be an adjective. Then we literally get a win. I think we killed David. His spirit has withered. Just like that. All right. With that, David is finishing some typeroos here. But we do need to go. Even though we started late, we have now gone on longer than past 4 o'clock than the amount of lateness we were when we started. And we gotta get on with our afternoon.
Yep.
So David has typed that up. We are going to say goodbye, and David's going to sign us out here.
Oh, right.
The stream. But thank you all. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week back here for LangTime Studio. In the meantime, stay grammar.
Bye, everybody. Woo! Oh, I'm not actually on it.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Okay, we're going to stay here staring at you. I totally thought David was in the right thing to end the stream. I could have just ended the stream myself if I had known. All right. Bye, guys.